Welcome back. This is The Real Story, where we're going to take the time to give context to some of the events that go on during the 2016 race for the White House. Sometimes we'll go back a few days, weeks, or months, or even years to find what's still relevant. And we find out today that the State of the Union address has been a spot for many memorable moments, but that's especially true for President Obama. We'll start, though, in 1974, when Richard Nixon used what would be his last State of the Union to try to call off the Watergate investigators. The president had been under a cloud for the better part of 2 years when he used the annual speech to say that was enough.
I believe the time has come to bring that investigation and the other investigations of this matter to an end. 1 year of Watergate is enough.
But less than 7 months later, Nixon would resign in disgrace. State of the Union moments aren't all quite so serious, though. In Ronald Reagan's address in 1982, he quoted George Washington, then poked a little fun at the media.
President Washington began this tradition in 1790 after reminding the nation that the destiny of self-government and the preservation of the sacred fire of liberty is finally staked on the experiment entrusted to the hands of the American people. For our friends in the press who place a high premium on accuracy, let me say, I did not actually hear George Washington say that.
Now, in more recent times, the State of the Union addresses have given Americans slogans that have defined the decades to come. With the memory of 9/11 still very fresh, President George W. Bush addressed Congress saying that even though the country was at war and the future was more uncertain than any time in recent history, the State of the Union had never been stronger. Then he coined a phrase that would be used for years.
North Korea is a regime arming with missiles and weapons of mass destruction while starving its citizens. Iran aggressively pursues these weapons and exports terror, while an unelected few repress the Iranian people's hope for freedom. Iraq continues to flaunt its hostility toward America and to support terror. States like these and their terrorist allies constitute an axis of evil, arming to threaten the peace of the world.
Many of President Obama's early State of the Union addresses foreshadowed events that would come true during his administration. We start in 2010, where he spoke out against Citizens United.
With all due deference to separation of powers, last week the Supreme Court reversed a century of law that I believe will open the floodgates for special interests, including foreign corporations, to spend without limit in our elections.
Justice Alito could be seen mouthing the words "not true," but in the 2016 campaign, many people say that the president predicted exactly what would happen. In that same speech, President Obama took aim at "don't ask, don't tell."
This year, I will work with Congress and our military to finally repeal the law that denies gay Americans the right to serve the country they love because of who they are. It's the right thing to do.
In just about a year, "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" would be repealed. Then in 2013, President Obama tried to shame Congress into action about gun control just weeks after the shooting in Newtown, Connecticut that killed 20 elementary school children.
These proposals deserve a vote. Because in the 2 months since Newtown, more than 1,000 birthdays, graduations, anniversaries have been stolen from our lives by a bullet from a gun. Gabby Giffords deserves a vote. The families of Newtown deserve a vote. The families of Aurora deserve a vote.
Even with all that cheering, increased gun control still wouldn't be a reality. But then in 2015, the president was back to a lighter note.
I have no more campaigns to run. My only agenda, I know because I won both of them.
So on to 2016, the experts are saying that this past year's address was a mix between trying to rise above the partisan politics, like the president did when he was running for that office back in 2008, but still pointing out where he feels Republicans have kept him from achieving what he wanted to do. Coming up next on Iowa in Focus, social media was active before, during, and after the president's State of the Union. See what the candidates were sending out while they watched, too.